From Centerville Bank Stadium in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, it is a massive night in the USL Championship tonight, presented by Capelli Sport, the official ankle partner of Rhode Island FC, as Rhode Island welcomes the Tampa Bay Rowdies to town for a pivotal matchup in the playoff picture in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew, happy to have you with us. With Loudoun clinching a playoff spot by beating Detroit earlier tonight, the Rowdies cannot be eliminated this evening, but with a win, they'd be in fantastic shape with 2 games left to potentially usurp Rhode Island for that final playoff spot. If Rhode Island were to win, they would take a giant step forward to clinching themselves after making it in their inaugural season. And Marion, the last time these two teams met, back in the middle of May, Rhode Island played some of their best soccer of the season.
No doubt about that. This is arguably the most complete 90-minute performance on the 2025 campaign for Rhode Island FC. They were stout defensively, but more than that, they created opportunities, a multitude of them going forward. Execution was also exactly where it needed to be, and execution is going to be a key piece as we look to these big impact players. JJ Williams, he is a player that knows what it feels like to be under the bright lights of pressure. He's started to show up well. Noah Fuson and maybe Maxi Rodriguez coming off the bench to inject some life into this group late.
A lot's been made of that Rhode Island attack as of late. Right now, they've started to step up at the right time of the season. So have the Rowdies, unbeaten in their last 5 games coming into tonight, and they're hitting a strong goal-scoring form as well.
Well said. You know, we looked at that last meeting between these two teams, and Tampa Bay is a completely different side than they were in May. They have figured out an identity going forward. They have figured out key players to look for in key moments. And key moments, Sean, that's going to be the name of the game.
Some of the key players for Tampa Bay here on your screen. Wubens Pasillas, however, not with the team tonight. He's away with Haiti on international duty. Arteaga and Marie will have to step up.
They will, because Wubens Pasillas has been in great form and is the leading goal scorer for this side. So what do they look like without him? Well, Arteaga's got a lot of these kind of moments under his belt. He knows what it takes when his team is up against the wall, and they are here this evening.
It's the most consequential game as far as the playoff picture is concerned in the USL Championship tonight. The Rowdies could take a big step towards the line. Rhode Island could take a big step towards a playoff berth, depending on who wins tonight. Kickoff is next.
Progress means earning more on every dollar you save. It means more growth and less guesswork. It means watching your money work as hard as you do. Progress means turning savings into momentum. With competitive rates from Centerville Bank, your money grows while you keep going, because you deserve returns that match your ambition as you move forward with purpose. Centerville Bank. Progress on purpose.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
It doesn't matter what you ride to work as long as you leave your car behind. Drive less, bike more. With the Drive Less RI app, every green trip counts. Whether you're pedaling to the office or cruising to class, log your bike trips and start earning rewards. Be a climate champion. Bike more, drive less. Download the Drive Less RI app today, because every mile matters. Visit drivelessri.com to get started.
Welcome back, everybody. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew, counting you down to kickoff, presented by Capelli Sport, the official anchor partner of RIFC. Rhode Island and the Rowdies about to clash as we dive into the starting 11s, brought to you by Ballybet Casino. We start with Cano Smith and the hosts, Rhode Island.
Yeah, 3 changes for this lineup for Cano Smith, and it's less about the personnel changes and more about some of the attacking shapes you're going to see going forward. Look for Sanchez to be involved higher up the pitch. Look for Shapiro Thompson to get involved on the right-hand side and cause a bit of imbalance for this Rhode Island side.
Because of Loudoun's win over Detroit earlier, it's not do or die quite yet for the Rowdies, but boy, a win could do them the world of good.
It absolutely could, and you alluded to it. It's going to be more about less all out and more about managing moments because it's not necessarily do or die. Arteaga, he's going to be a huge piece to that, getting involved with Luis Alvarez on the left-hand side and Blake Bodley. That's going to be a triple threat to keep your eye on.
And just because Loudoun won that game doesn't take too much pressure off of this one. Both teams need 3 points desperately, about to get the first half started, presented by First Class Marble and Granite. A win for Rhode Island would potentially put them on the doorstep of a playoff berth. Of course, they will hope that Pittsburgh beats Indy. This game will kick off simultaneously with that game and 2 others in the USL Championship tonight. For the Rowdies, they'll also hope that Indy loses to Pittsburgh. And of course, a win for Tampa Bay puts them within 1 point of Rhode Island for the 8th and final playoff spot in the East. It is the game, arguably, with the most consequence with the playoff picture in the entirety of the USL Championship tonight. And in front of this Centerville Bank Stadium crowd, we are underway. It is Rhode Island and the Rowdies for the final time in the regular season with so much at stake. And frankly, we cannot wait to see how it all unfolds. Could be an early chance here for Tampa Bay on the front foot. And the shot is skied over the top of Koke Vegas's goal by Juan Azakar. It's a goal kick. Gives us a chance to look at keys to the game, presented by Ford. We start with Rhode Island and their normal trademark physical play.
Absolutely, and that's going to be key because this is a Tampa Bay Rowdy side that likes to play and has had success building through the thirds. So if you're Rhode Island, look to impose your physicality early on in this match and let that set the tempo going forward. And then for Tampa Bay, we've been alluding to it. Coming into this match, it felt like they were going to really have to sell out. That's not necessarily the case anymore with a couple of results in front of them. Now it's going to be more about managing the moments. And managing moments has been a key part for Dom Casciato. He wants to see his team learn how to play with things like a lead a little bit better. And so we need to keep an eye on those key moments, not only in terms of when to press defensively a little bit higher up the pitch, but also when to send numbers going forward.
Today's health report is presented by the official orthopedic partner and team physicians of RIFC. Learn more at orthopedicsri.com. We mentioned that Wubens Pacias is away with Haiti, so he's not available, but Ali Bassett, Leo Fernandez, and Pacific Neon Gabiri all not available with injuries for the Rowdies tonight. No Brito, Harivo, Hope Gund, and Myers for Cano Smith. And Rhode Island should mention as well, as the offside flag goes up here, that Jojea Quizera is away with Rwanda on World Cup qualification duty as well. He is also not available for Rhode Island tonight. Williams turns into space and tried to fizz one to the edge of the 18-yard box, and the Rowdies will have it covered. Look to move out of their own half. RIFC would like to thank their anchor partners, Breeze Airways, Capelli Sports, Centerville Bank, Ortho Rhode Island, for their support on and off the field throughout the season. Juan Azakar, lovely skill. It could fall for a Rowdies chance here, and the block from Frank Nodarze allows Tampa Bay's shot to not go anywhere near Koke Vegas, who then gets on the end of the follow-up.
Well, it's a little bit of a different look for the midfield of Rhode Island, more of a flat four, and it's just way too lax from Bacharach and Sanchez. Letting that player slip through unmarked into the box leads to what Tampa Bay loves to do. They are creative inside the 18-yard box. They can find in and out of some really nifty and tight spaces. You do not want to give players like Arteaga a look that close in.
I mentioned it earlier, May 17th was the last time these two teams met. Before, Rhode Island, of course, beat Vegas 3-1, which turned into a 3-0 forfeit. That was the last time that Rhode Island had scored 3 goals in a league game this season. Again, they did so against Vegas, but of course those stats, unfortunately for the Rhode Island players that scored the goals, do not count. That was due to a mismanagement from Vegas as far as a player being ineligible to play, not being on the roster. The Rowdies are coming off arguably their best game of the season, a 4-0 win over Monterey Bay. Dom Casciato called it the most complete 90 minutes they've played in his tenure.
Hard to believe he would have said anything else.
Especially considering some of the topsy-turvy games the Rowdies have been a part of these last few weeks.
They're probably happy to have somewhat of a boring game.
Came at the right time for them, that's for sure. Good shielding by Jobe, and it's a Rhode Island goal kick. There is Dom Casciato, a League One winner with Union Omaha. Last season took over back in early July for the Rowdies. Said it was an easy decision at the time to join the Tampa Bay organization. When he joined, I thought this was an interesting quote. He said, "I'm just here to help. I don't want to make this Dom Casciato FC. I want to be a part of turning things around for the Rowdies," and the performances would tell you he is in the process of doing that.
Yeah, he's done a really nice job at kind of balancing. It's very delicate balance, trying to impose kind of your principles, how you see the game with the personnel you have available to you and where the team is currently at. He's done a really fine job of balancing those two things.
Fuson, lovely ball onto this near side for Sanchez, who's caught up too, and it goes out for a corner for Rhode Island.
We'll look at Fuson dropping a little bit deeper. And then this is what we were talking about in the lineup card. Sanchez a little bit higher. He is so lethal down the left-hand side. His ability to touch that ball ahead of the Tampa Bay player and really take out the inside shoulder. That's what forced a near dangerous tackle inside the box.
It is a Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner. If Rhode Island scores from a corner, you go to Chick-fil-A Attleboro location, get a free chicken sandwich. There's a decent volley from Amos Shapiro-Thompson, who is capable of striking the ball sweetly from those kinds of positions. That one flies off target. The New England laborers are training the workforce today. That'll build our tomorrow with state-of-the-art training facilities across Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. You'll be equipped with classroom and job site knowledge to start a rewarding career in the construction industry. Build your future with the union that built the stadium at Tidewater, home of RIFC. Here's Fuson, who's been in good form for Rhode Island. J.J. Williams scores brilliantly to put Rhode Island in front. He just always emerges when Rhode Island needs him. And on this big night in Pawtucket, J.J. Williams puts Rhode Island up 1-0.
Well, all three players involved in this one, they were in the starting 11, but they're being used a little bit differently. Hugo Baccarat, his ability to offer some balance to the midfield, and Noah Fuson and his ability with J.J. Williams to provide balance up top. Oftentimes, you'll see Noah Fuson checking deeper, and J.J. Williams left alone in isolation, occupying the center backs. And those little nuances, tactically for Rhode Island, paying early dividends.
6th league goal of the season for J.J. Williams. He scores against his former club, and more importantly, gives Rhode Island a precious lead.
And this is exactly what we talked about. Coaches, both Conno Smith and Dom Casciato, they can make those tactical nuances, the adjustments. But at this stage of the season, it's all about execution in those big pressure moments, and who better than J.J. Williams in those?
We did ask Dom Casciato, how do you stop J.J. Williams? He said you got to stop the service getting to him. The Rowdies did not do that, and J.J. Williams, boy, did he ever make them pay with a wonderful finish. Tampa Bay coming up the other end. Decent cross into the middle. The header was placed centrally. Rhode Island will clear it. Williams holds up the play beautifully for Rhode Island in the end. Clipping it forward for Fuson, who is going to keep this in play. Fuson into the penalty area is dispossessed by Van Kazeel, who recovers well for the Rowdies, then gives it away to Bacharach. Holstead. Fuson into the middle, cannot fit it through for Williams. Now a chance for the Rowdies to run this up the other end. Challenge comes in there, and oh, it's going to be a yellow card for Grant Stoneman for potential handball.
Well, Grant Stoneman actually times the challenge excellently. It is a handball. But the decision-making from Grant Stone, it's a bit unfortunate because ultimately, in a transitional moment like that, you have to be spot on when you choose to step. And Grant Stoneman actually had to leave the runner that was on his backside shoulder. He made that step in a timely way, and actually it was really good rotation from Yao to pick up the runner that Grant left. I actually think that without that handball deflection, it would have been a very good moment defensively for Rhode Island.
And the fact that it was in transition, I think, is what leads to our referee, Jeremy Shear, going to his pocket. And the Rowdies are in decent shape here as far as coming up with a set-piece opportunity. Stoneman heads the initial chance away, and then it's blazed over the top by Blake Bonnelly and out for a goal kick. Rhode Island is proud to welcome MyRI TV as a broadcast partner this season. RI FC fans can now watch live action regionally on Nessun, locally on MyRI, and stream on ESPN+. Don't miss any of the action throughout the season. This is, of course, Rhode Island's last regular season home game. It's Fan Appreciation Night this evening. Cano Smith, in our conversation with him to the media after the Las Vegas win, talked about how important the fans have been in this inaugural season at Centerville Bank Stadium. As Fuson, oh, that was a lovely bit of connecting play initially between him and Holstead. Could not feed in Sanchez. There's a look at Cano Smith, second year as the Rhode Island head coach. Took them all the way to the final last season, trying to get them into the playoffs for a second consecutive year. And again, a win coupled with an Indy loss would put Rhode Island within 2 points of claiming a playoff berth.
No doubt this one is huge, just given what Rhode Island has left in their schedule. Some tough opponents to finish out the season.
Two road games, one at North Carolina. We're still trying to wrap up a home playoff game berth. And then they go to Albuquerque to take on Dennis Sanchez's New Mexico United, who have clinched, but are also trying to clinch a home playoff game in the West. Not exactly a couple of cupcakes.
No, not whatsoever. You want to get this one at home in front of your fans. We got to go up to this beautiful stadium for the CBS game earlier in this year in July, and I actually got to do a hit from the supporters section. The most welcoming group. They were rowdy, they were rambunctious. Got a couple free scarves out of it. They've been absolutely tremendous showing up at this stadium.
And they've been key to Rhode Island's resurgence. At times this season, there have been some ups and downs, particularly during the summer months, where we almost didn't quite know where Rhode Island was going to end up. We still don't know, obviously, but now 4 matches unbeaten at the right time of the season. And of course, 3 of those being wins in particular is key. There's a player down for Tampa Bay away from the action here. Of course, the Rowdies are 5 matches in a row unbeaten, 2 wins, 3 draws. They've scored 15 goals during that 5-game stretch. That's been the most encouraging sign for Dom Casciato's group. He did tell us, though, and you hinted at this earlier, Marion, it's been their inconsistency playing with a lead that has kind of let them down at times. There was the wild stoppage time chaos in Leesburg against Loudoun, losing a 3-1 lead to Colorado Springs as well, as we do get to revisit this last sequence that has led to a Rowdies player being down injured. It's the top left of your screen.
That's J.J. Williams, Forrest Lasso.
And then the player falls down up top there by Amos Shapiro-Thompson.
Absolutely.
Actually, off screen, J.J. Williams is being attended to by the Rhode Island technical area. Just getting looked at as well. It's Blake Bodley, by the way, who's down for the Rowdies here. And we are being told that that might be the end of Blake Bodley's night for the Rowdies. Very important player for Dom Casciato and Tampa Bay's cause. Player with so much experience. And we're told that Joey Skinner is going to replace him. That is a tough, tough blow for Tampa Bay inside of 16 first half minutes, but that is going to be it. Bodley confirmed to be substituted out. Joey Skinner confirmed to take his place.
And that now makes 2 key losses. Obviously, we hit on Rubens Passius not being available here this evening. Blake Bodley, another key piece to what Tampa Bay wants to do on the attacking side of the ball.
Talked about Hilton and Bassett and Neon Gabiri not being available either, as Holstead somersaults over that challenge. The Rowdies' depth is certainly going to be tested here, at least tonight, and potentially throughout their last couple of contests of the season as well. Of course, we hope that it's not too serious from Blake Bodley's point of view moving forward. Joe gets it back from the throw. Sanchez was offside before he put the cross in, and it's a free kick for Tampa Bay. Well, getting to the game is easy with RIPTA's free game day bus service. Buses loop every 8 to 10 minutes between Pawtucket, Central Falls Transit Center, Centerville Bank Stadium, and the stadium's reserved parking lots. For a full list of stops, visit ripta.com/RIFC. Will Hamid's put the Rowdies into a bit of a tight spot here. Van Kazeel under heavy Rhode Island pressure. Jobe steps in. It's headed further upfield, trying to get it to Paul Marie, who was fouled. And the referee's going to bring this back. It's going to still be with the Rowdies, but further towards their 18-yard box, it looks like.
Well, this whole sequence was a key of what we're talking about in terms of managing moments. And that was a high-pressure situation, high pressure coming from Rhode Island's front line, and a lack of recognition from Tampa Bay that they didn't have the space to operate. They needed to be able to clear their lines a little bit faster. So, Sean, those are some of the moments that we're talking about when we say managing moments, getting yourself playing with the lead, playing in a deficit. Those are the key parts that Tampa Bay has needed to improve upon.
J.J. Williams does well, wins it back for Rhode Island. Bacharach resets to Karifa Yao. should mention as well, the last 2 games for the Rowdies are not exactly walks in the park either. Luckily for them, they're both at home, as Vegas gets that away. They play Hartford next, and then they host Detroit on the final match day of the season. That, who knows, could be for all the marbles.
Could be.
As far as the playoffs are concerned. Time for Holstead to make up his mind here. Stoneman for Bacharach. No foul. Rowdies win the ball back, only for a moment.
Well, I really like the movement off of the ball that we're seeing from Rhode Island. We've talked a little bit about Amos Shapiro-Thompson on the right-hand side. He's going to kind of float up and down in between the midfield line and the front line. That's going to cause a little bit of imbalance for Tampa Bay. And then the insertion of Hugo Bacharach into the midfield. He is such a key player both ways. He can provide the physicality, win the 50-50 challenges, but you're also seeing his ability to set the tempo in this one early on.
Hugo Bacharach was actually asked after the Vegas game if he gained any more confidence from taking on that shot that led to the equalizing goal against Vegas, which of course now doesn't count. Yes, we know. But he said he did.
Counts in my mind, Sean.
Yeah, he gained more confidence from taking on a long distance shot, and he actually said if he gets another chance tonight, he will take on a long distance effort back on the back of that moment against Vegas. We know Clay Holstead could certainly take them on from distance. He's dispossessed, however, on this occasion, and Tampa Bay emerges with the ball. And then Jope, he's able to backtrack. He gets the first step there on Marie, and Vegas resets for Rhode Island. Of course, we're keeping an eye on the scores going on elsewhere around the USL Championship. Circle that one at the top. Pittsburgh and Indy 0-0 at Highmark at the moment. A Pittsburgh win would actually be beneficial for both Rhode Island and Tampa Bay. Put Indy in a very tight spot. Of course, El Paso leading at Lexington is a big deal in the West. Hartford, could they do the double over Sacramento? They beat them in the Jaeger Cup final. They lead them again in the league tonight.
You know, Hartford's resurgence, and a lot of people probably don't want to hear it, but the Hartford resurgence certainly started when these two teams met on July 19th.
That's the live table, by the way. If this result were to hold, Rhode Island would be in a much more comfortable spot, even if Indy just draws tonight and Rhode Island can win. That would become a 4-point cushion, and the Rowdies, by the way, would still be in a lot of trouble, but they will not be eliminated with a defeat tonight, and that's because Detroit lost earlier to Loudoun. Loudoun clinched a playoff berth, by the way, with that win for the first time in the club's history. So a huge tip of the cap to Ryan Martin and the players there.
It has been wild to see what he's been able to do, but you know, everyone knew the caliber of a coach Ryan Martin was.
No
but
question.
Depth had always been a question mark, right? There's always been inconsistencies in their lineup, and they have found a way to finally break through.
They did it in style, too. Riley Bidois in stoppage time to win it at Keyworth.
90+1.
How about that? If you're looking for help on how to pay for college, look no further than RISLA. Been helping students and families for decades. Visit RISLA at risla.com to find out more.
And so just in case all the fans missed it, I hate to tell them, but everybody is a Riverhounds fan tonight that's watching this game. Everybody's going to be rooting for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, whether they like it or not.
At least for tonight.
Just for tonight.
If just for one night.
For tonight.
To be fair, Pittsburgh would also clinch a playoff spot if they were to win against Indy. That's another reason to keep an eye on that game as well. Good pressure from Shapiro-Thompson. Forces the Rowdies to clear it over the top, and Rhode Island have the numbers just past the halfway line. Jump up ahead. Balls for Bacharach. Calmly plays it out wide to Frank Nodarse. Stoneman forced to retreat to Koke Vegas, who did roll his ankle in the Vegas game last time out and was able to continue. We did ask Cano Smith if he was available, and there wasn't much hesitation that Koke would be a go tonight. This is Yao. Fuson down the line. Sanchez into the middle for Williams, who had the right idea. Ends up losing out.
Keep your eye on Karifa Yao's involvement, because you alluded to it. The last couple of times that they've tried to build out of the back, there's been a little bit of a rotation between he and Clay Holstad. Karifa Yao stepping up a bit higher role centrally, Clay Holstad, or even sometimes Hugo Bacharach dropping in to provide more of that defensive coverage. And this is a Rhode Island side who truly looks at starting 11s as just that, just starting points. They have a lot of fluidity with the way that they shape shift in games, and that does include on the back line.
Guillen. Back to the halfway line. Marie, a great instant impact player for the Rowdies since coming in on loan. The cross into the middle, the volley. Ricochets off of Bacharach and goes out for a Rowdies corner on the far side.
Well, this is certainly no time to turn off if you're Rhode Island, because Tampa Bay has been very dangerous on set pieces. Not only corner kicks and free kicks, but also long throw-ins from Arteaga. They've been pretty fruitful for this team. And it's a good little clip into the back post, totally unmarked. All the Rhode Island players get completely sucked into watching the ball.
Paul Marie, joined in August on loan from the San Jose Earthquakes, has just been a huge piece to the Rowdies' potential revival down the stretch in this USL Championship season. He's already up to 6 goal contributions in the league, 3 goals and 3 assists, as he lines up this Tampa Bay corner. Like Jeremy Shear was attending to something inside the penalty area. A little bit of confusion, I think. Now we're ready to go. Marie's delivery is pretty well placed, but the header from Lasso loops over the top. Well, Atlantic Beverage, enjoy every sip of sunshine and celebrate the hometown team with a wicked good IPA from Lawson's Finest Liquids, proud sponsor of RIFC.
Well, Forrest Lasso certainly is the usual target on these corner kick opportunities, but Bacharach does really well just to keep him within the frame, make it challenging and unbalanced for him to go up and get that one.
Briefly mentioned Aaron Guillen just a moment ago. It's actually his 195th appearance for the Rowdies tonight in the regular season. That's tied with his teammate Leo Fernandez for the most for the Rowdies in the modern era. As Fuson's in one-on-one for Rhode Island. Oh yes, he scores! J.J. Williams at the heart of it. And Noah Fuson with the finish to double Rhode Island's lead. Two of the players we highlighted linking up and doing the damage for Rhode Island.
And look who it is again, getting involved centrally, Hugo Bacharach. But this is the balance that we're talking about with J.J. Williams and Noah Fuson. One checks underneath, one provides the verticality. And those two players playing close together in nature not only in their relationship, but positionally on the field, unlocks back lines in an all-new way for Rhode Island that we have failed to see consistently enough this year. But my goodness, when those two are on, this is a Rhode Island side that looks as lethal and as dangerous in the final third as just about anybody in the USL Championship.
Rhode Island flexing their muscles to a 2-0 lead. Noah Fuson's 4th league goal of the season. A goal and an assist for J.J. Williams. Doubles the delight for Rhode Island, and it's double trouble for the Rowdies.
I tell you what, there is something about this Rhode Island team and the mentality that they hold. When things get late, your backs are up against the wall a bit, the ability for those players to continuously respond.
How many times, I think I've lost track, when we've talked to Cano Smith and he said, it's gonna happen. We feel it's coming. It feels like these last 4, now 5 games, it's starting to happen like it did last year, at least to a certain extent.
No doubt about it. And you know what, it's been interesting and honestly wonderful getting to talk to Cano Smith as many times as we have, because the message, to your point, has always been that. There has never been a doubt, not only with the coaching staff, but within this group of players, that they had the ability and it would happen.
Here they come again, it's Fuson again! Bill Hamid makes the save. Rhode Island threatening to run riot here.
It's Amos Shapiro-Thompson getting a little higher up the pitch, pointing to J.J. Williams, trying to direct him. And that direction was actually really important for Thompson because he actually wanted J.J. Williams to run a little bit more inline, so it opened up a clearer path to Noah Fuson. Ends up nearly working out anyway.
Oh, a little bit of tempers fraying there. Was wonderful defending by Karifa Yao. Luis Alvarez took exception to that moment. It is a Rhode Island free kick. RIFC fans, grab yourself an ice-cold Pepsi Zero Sugar for the match. Zero never tasted so good, you have to try it to believe it. Pepsi Zero Sugar is a proud sponsor of RIFC. Looped over the top. Oh, it nearly felt kindly for Arteaga, but again, Karifa Yao is on the scene. Holstead settles it for Sanchez, who is harried, but does fit it through for Fuson. Down the line for Williams. Caught up to by the aforementioned Guillen, who gives it away to Holstead. Williams. So tough to stop in those moments. Holstead picks up the pieces for Sanchez. Bacharach gets it back and then tried to feed Williams. It was deflected through. Rhode Island recovered again, and it's kept in play just about. Holstead now.
Good turn.
Beautiful switch of play over to the far side. Nodarse for Shapiro-Thompson. To the byline. The cross is blocked out for a corner, and Rhode Island are playing as well as we've seen them here for quite some time.
That was absolutely beautiful sequence of so many different looks on the attacking side of the ball. You had some quick combination play at the top of the 18. You had hard, gritty effort to win back the second and third ball so that they could keep possession. You had lovely switches at the point of attack. And really, it feels like there is not only a sense of confidence, but there is a calmness to this Rhode Island FC side that we go back to saying it. They knew that this was going to happen. And finally, they're starting to see the fruits of that labor.
Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner. The service was decent. It's going to fall for Sanchez, and it's poked in! Looked like Frank Nodarse got the last touch, but it doesn't appear that it's going to count. I think the lights and all the pageantry and the flashes went off. I don't think the goal has been given here. I think the flag's gone up. A little bit of confusion here inside the stadium. Looked like it was an offside call.
Definitely. And from my first glance, I was a little surprised that it wouldn't have been, yeah, no doubt about that, Frank Nadarce just hanging out on the 6. That's actually very well done from Tampa Bay to step their lines in sync. You can tell the fans are itching for another one.
How many times have we been fortunate enough, of course, to commentate on these Rhode Island games? We've talked about how it's been nearly this, nearly that. And some of the excellent build-up play, moments where you go, oh, what a start. Not quite the end product. That's starting to change during this 4 or 5 game run. And these last 15 minutes in particular have really illustrated that.
Yeah, the games where, you know, it ended in a 0-0 draw and Rhode Island had some opportunities. Those games are now starting to become, over the past couple of weeks, it started to become 1-0. And now we're starting to see, last week, although canceled, in this week, even finer bits of execution from Rhode Island in the final third.
That is one thing that makes Rhode Island really dangerous, is too, they're one of the best defensive teams in the league. The numbers have kind of shown that almost all year, and Cano Smith, through the tough times, has really hung his hat on this defensive setup and the ability to stay in the game. You start finishing off your chances, and Rhode Island could be just as lethal potentially as they were last year in the playoffs. That is potentially the ceiling they're trying to shoot for.
And amidst all that, it can be really easy to forget this is a second-year club.
Yeah.
They are just in their second year. And sometimes there's a little bit of a downfall, right? When you do so well, you exceed the expectations so high in your first year, people have a tendency to forget that you are still building a foundation at the end of the day. And the foundation for Rhode Island, as you mentioned, this year has really been their defensive presence. But I would also argue that it's been their ability to show up consistently in training. You said it, we get to talk to Cano Smith quite often. He never says that his group has a bad week of training. I know that's something that Dom Casciato has been proud of his group as well.
Yeah, he felt that the win over Monterey Bay was kind of a nice reward for his players for all the hard work that they've been putting in and maybe not always getting the 3 points. But certainly the Rowdies have a mountain to climb if they're to get back into this one. The run forward by Azakar continues. Gets it through onto this near side for Arteaga. Goes towards the byline here for Skinner. And Skinner's cross into the middle. Well, Rhode Island just had too many numbers in the way. Fuson picks his head up and looks to find J.J. Williams down this near side. Lasso gets the first touch onto it. And Williams is able to pick up the pieces from that. Oh, he tried to go after Van Kazeel, who dispossesses him.
Well, the lines right now for Tampa Bay, that's a good ball.
Vegas, as he does so well, sweeps it up.
Too much space in between all of the lines right now. It feels like every unit is operating in isolation for Tampa Bay.
Holstead, lovely ball through for Sanchez. Fuson and Williams in the middle. Sanchez was deflected high into the air, and the Rowdies will certainly take that as Hamid makes the catch. Proudly outfitting RIFC this season, Capelli Sport is your global game changer for premium kits, gear, and innovation on and off the field. It's also the official sponsor for Rhode Island goals this season. Two goals over about a 20-minute stretch. Williams, and then Williams finding Fuson for the second goal, has Rhode Island firmly in the driver's seat.
both goals and a lot of positive points for Rhode Island have started with the two central midfielders for tonight's match, Clay Holstad, Hugo Bacharach. Those two have been very impactful on both sides of the ball.
Here's Fuson. Starting to look like the golden playmaker again from last season. Bacharach. Still, Hugo Bacharach. Oh, blocked. Nadarse blocked off the edge of the 18. Now, we told you Bacharach's flowing with confidence at the moment.
He's just slaloming with ease.
Holstad, lovely spray out to the far side. Nadarse. Early ball for Williams, who couldn't quite put it on target. Holstad gets his head on it to keep it going. Holstad fits it through. Shapiro Thompson. Fuson for Williams. Williams delicately done. Holstad to Sanchez. Fuson back to him. Now Holstad. Williams on the turn. Lovely switch out wide for an open Nadarse. Shapiro Thompson for Stoneman, who cannot find Bacharach. And eventually the Rowdies play their way out. Pressure from Holstad and from Shapiro Thompson. Rhode Island win it back very quickly. Slotted through for Williams. JJ Williams. Let's let go for Bacharach. Holstad. Sanchez. It's Joe! Over the top after another wonderful bit of possession play from Rhode Island.
And why not? Because the beautiful thing about Rhode Island right now and kind of the way that they're shifting up top is meaning that they're occupying the entire back line of the Tampa Bay Rowdies, having to keep them honest so that you don't have players like JJ Williams, like Noah Fuson, able to face up 1v1. What that does is it opens up the space in front of the back line where Jope just took that near hit.
Paul Marie for the Rowdies. Oh, he nearly scored. Fizzed it right past the target in the end with Vegas flailing.
A good bit of transition here for Tampa Bay. And as quickly as they seem out of it, they have all kinds of attacking prowess going forward. This one could have easily cut the deficit in half, and then we're talking about a whole different game.
There's a reason we highlighted the attacking talent that both teams have at their disposal going into this match tonight. And Rhode Island quickly go back on the front foot. It's another Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner.
I mean, what better way to thank the fans than with the potential of a free Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich?
We've done most of these games, not all of them. I don't think it's happened yet.
It hasn't. So maybe I'm selfishly, I want to be on the call. I want to experience it when it happens.
Better late than never,
Absolutely.
Right? We've sort of called this the Centerville Bank Stomp as they try to
trademark it,
do
baby.
the drum roll for these Chick-fil-A Attleboro corners. It will be Hamady Jope to provide the service. 2 minutes plus stoppage time left in the half. To the near post. Ooh, was flicked on by Bacharach. Tampa Bay will clear it. But Holstad runs it down for a Rhode Island recycle. And quickly plays another wonderful diagonal ball out to this far side. Now Stoneman, first time ball into the middle looking for Williams. Header is flicked onto this near side. Marie and Van Kazeel trying to play their way past J.J. Williams. Tampa Bay, ooh, they calmly play their way out of trouble before Bacharach commits a foul. There's no job too big with Norfolk Power Equipment, New England's premier Kubota dealer. Norfolk Power Equipment is a proud sponsor of RIFC. Come on down today and get the job done with Norfolk Power. Here comes Williams again, gliding past a challenge. Plays in Holstead, who goes in down. Oh, it's a penalty, yes! The referee's given it. Aaron Guillen is pointing, saying it might have been outside the 18-yard box, but Jeremy Shear, with no hesitation, has given Rhode Island a spot kick. It almost looked like the chance had gone on the Williams ball in behind, but now Rhode Island have a penalty.
J.J. Williams finds himself in some space to turn, and it's a good overlapping run from Clay Holstad, and Guillen might have an argument to be made there. So Guillen, as you so rightfully pointed out, when the penalty decision was made, goes up to our head referee, is pointing to the fact that it's outside the 18-yard box, no VAR, so the call on the field is the call on the field, and it's gonna stand. But you do have to wonder.
If it's on the line, it's in. That was very, very close. J.J. Williams is gonna step up to take this all-important Rhode Island penalty. And Williams buries the penalty. 2 first-half goals, a first-half assist. Rhode Island running riot over the Rowdies. They lead by 3-0, and J.J. Williams is at the heart of it all.
Well, this is an absolute dream start for Cano Smith. An absolute treat for the fans here at Fan Appreciation Night. And Guillen, I actually do believe, was on the line, which would classify this as a penalty kick awarded to J.J. Williams. The word you used is buried, and I don't think that there's a better term for that penalty. Absolute class strike.
His 7th league goal of the season. Remember, J.J. Williams was also one of the 3 Rhode Island players who missed in that all-important Jaeger Cup shootout here against Sacramento. That's got to feel like some vindication. Burying one here in a massive game with playoff hopes very much at stake. And Rhode Island are very, very much in the box seat.
You know, for a lot of weeks in this 2025 season, myself included, I think it was hard to say if Rhode Island looked like a playoff team. There were moments in games, sure, but there weren't solid performances where you were sold that this was going to be a playoff team. This Rhode Island FC team, this is a Rhode Island FC team that could make a lot of trouble in the playoffs.
You focus on cheering for RIFC, we'll focus on protecting Rhode Island's workers. Beacon Mutual, workers' comp focused on what matters most. That goal, by the way, also brought to you by Capelli Sport. We're now well, of course, into the 3 added minutes at the end of the half. That is headed centrally. Rowdies look to clear it. Sanchez deflects it out for a Tampa Bay throw. One of the things we should mention, we did talk about the last 5 games. They're unbeaten, beg your pardon, the Rowdies in that stretch of time, 2 wins, 3 draws. They have scored 15. They also did concede 8 goals during that stretch of time. The defense has at times really come back to haunt Tampa Bay this season. But take nothing away from Rhode Island's attacking prowess in this first half.
Not at all, but you're absolutely spot on, and it's something I alluded to earlier. It's just the space in between the lines, particularly the central midfielders, the holding midfielders for Tampa Bay. They're not doing a good enough job screening their back line. They play with a three-back more often than not. And when you have such dangerous players in J.J. Williams, Noah Fuson, Hugo Baccarat, Clay Holstad, they've all been impactful, but it's because they've had far too much time and space to operate centrally.
What a half for Rhode Island. What a half for J.J. Williams. A first half brace and assist to set up the other goal that he didn't score. And Rhode Island are in dreamland going into halftime, leading the Rowdies by 3-0. In a game that both teams really need to have for their potential playoff prospects. Rhode Island doing everything they possibly can to take another step forward towards the playoffs for a second consecutive year. What a half from J.J. Williams and Rhode Island. The Rowdies have quite a bit to talk to at halftime about the second half. We'll step aside for now. We'll look around the rest of the league after the break.
Rhode Island, are you ready? Rhode Island FC's brand new home, Centreville Bank Stadium, is waiting for you. Don't miss out on any of the action this season, as the Ocean State's very own look to defend their Eastern Conference title. Tickets are available now, starting as low as $16.36 per game. Scan the QR code to secure your seat today.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
Progress means earning more on every dollar you save. It means more growth and less guesswork. It means watching your money work as hard as you do. Progress means turning savings into momentum. With competitive rates from Centerville Bank, your money grows while you keep going, because you deserve returns that match your ambition as you move forward with purpose. Centerville Bank. Progress on purpose.
Halftime here in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, leading Tampa Bay in this all-important game by 3-0. We'll have the second half coming up in just a moment. As this first season in Centerville Bank Stadium winds down, we look around the rest of the USL Championship and how they're building forward in more ways than one.
In the USL, shovels in the ground mean as much as scoring goals. And Sacramento Republic is on its way to transforming the city's rail yard district into a soccer palace. The same is happening in the Motor City, with Detroit City's new home clearing way for stadium construction. Miami FC has unveiled its future home in South Florida, while the Pittsburgh Riverhounds prepare for their stadium expansion, preserving one of the best views in all of sports. The growth is felt as well in League One, with expansion on the way for 2026. The scene changes daily at the site of Fort Wayne's new home, from clearing the area in early June to the sweet sight of concrete and steel in mid-September. All watched closely by Fort Wayne's Director of Communication, Justin Cohn.
Thousands of people literally drive past this thing every day. So how cool is it for everyone to get a chance to see this thing every single day get closer?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's ideally located for people going to and from work, or they're driving down to Indianapolis, and you're seeing it in really at a rapid pace come up. So you're really seeing a lot of the facade of what will be the stands start to come up.
I look at the renderings. First thing I notice is this gigantic video board. So give me some of the neat things about that, because this might be the best thing in League One for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the scoreboard is something I'm really excited about. It'll be the second longest scoreboard in the entire state. So that means it eclipses an NFL stadium. You're going to have a lot of options at Fort Wayne FC Park in terms of watching the matches. There's a lot of possibilities that you can do with the scoreboard.
Fellow League One expansion club Boise is seeing its vision take shape as construction at the park at Expo, Idaho is full speed. And longtime League One club Greenville Triumph has kicked off construction at Bridgeway Station.
Week 32 is upon us in USL Championship play, and this week on USL All Access, we have Sean Tosh, defender from Louisville City. USL Championship's all-time leader in minutes, in appearances, most goals by a defender. That means it's title time, but don't take my word for it. Incredible interview with Sean Tosh and what looks to be the run-in for one of the greatest regular seasons we've ever seen in USL Championship history. We got recaps, we got previews, we got a lot going on this week.
Back. It's what a hit!
Here's Wilson. He stays out, and the Roots have a lead.
Whoa, termites can eat a pound of wood a day. 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 What's wrong, Daddy? Daddy? You okay?
Keep termites out of your home and your head with our premium guarantee that covers up to $250,000 in new termite damage. Before panic shows up, Terminix it.
Wait, come back! Wait, come back, I need more help.
Take a load off it. Take a load for free.
Today we went to the beach, and it was
Put the load right on me.
totally worth it. Get double points this fall at Best Western.
Rhode Island, are you ready? Rhode Island FC's brand new home, Centreville Bank Stadium, is waiting for you. Don't miss out on any of the action this season, as the Ocean State's very own look to defend their Eastern Conference title. Tickets are available now, starting as low as $16.36 per game. Scan the QR code to secure your seat today.
Welcome back, everyone. At the half, Rhode Island leading Tampa Bay by 3-0. We'll have the second half coming up in just a few moments. But first, these fans are the winners of the seriously nice seat upgrade. It's courtesy of Breeze Airways. Each match, Breeze Airways upgrades lucky fans to a premium matchday experience. Breeze Airways is a proud partner of Rhode Island FC. It's a huge night in the USL Championship in the Eastern Conference and in the Western Conference. So many teams are still in it. We'll get to that in a moment. Of course, news and notes from around the league. A lot of things to talk about, particularly Marion, Hartford's turnaround this season, which has led to them potentially getting a home playoff game, who knows, and winning the Jaeger Cup over Sacramento.
Absolutely insane. Brendan has left his fingerprint all over this side in terms of their identity. They are a threat going forward, which Rhode Island knows all too well, but good to see what they've been able to do. Lifting a trophy is always going to be impactful to your group's morale.
Nearly 10,000 fans at that last Lose City game. That put the total fans to attend games this season in the USL Championship over 2 million. Incredible milestone to hit for the league this season. And of course, Rubens Pacias, we've been talking about him. Got the call up with the Haitian national team, who have been doing wonderfully, by the way, in CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. So keep an eye on him. Here's what we were talking about earlier. Scores from elsewhere that matter. Pittsburgh leading Indy by 1-0 at the moment. That would clinch a playoff spot for the Hounds and would do Rhode Island and Tampa Bay a huge favor. Already a big favor done by Loudoun by beating Detroit earlier. Loudoun clinch a playoff spot for the first time in the club's history. Detroit in a spot of trouble going into the last few weeks. Hartford are winning. El Paso are winning. The other games right now are goalless.
I tell you what, that Charleston, Colorado game, keep your eye on it. The Switchbacks look better than they have all season.
Champions have work to do if they are to get back. And then, of course, the rest of the night, Tulsa against San Antonio in the West. That's on ESPN+. Huge game for Orange County. They really need to start getting some points. Danny Stonesider in Albuquerque to take on New Mexico. Also tonight, do or die for the Lights at home. Do or die for the Roots on the road. Something's got to give. If the Lights don't win, they are very likely to be eliminated from the playoffs tonight. Oakland would be on death's door, essentially, so to speak, if they don't win as well. Massive night continues around the grounds in the USL Championship. We'll step aside for now. Highlights, stats, and the second half kick are all coming up next.
It doesn't matter what you ride to work as long as you leave your car behind. Drive less, bike more. With the Drive Less RI app, every green trip counts. Whether you're pedaling to the office or cruising to class, log your bike trips and start earning rewards. Be a climate champion. Bike more, drive less. Download the Drive Less RI app today, because every mile matters. Visit drivelessri.com to get started.
Progress means earning more on every dollar you save. It means more growth and less guesswork. It means watching your money work as hard as you do. Progress means turning savings into momentum. With competitive rates from Centerville Bank, your money grows while you keep going, because you deserve returns that match your ambition as you move forward with purpose. Centerville Bank. Progress on purpose.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew, happy to have you back here with us at Centerville Bank Stadium in Pawtucket. Rhode Island were excellent in the first half against the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and it's time to go back through the Cox Business first half highlights in this pivotal game in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. And of course, playoffs riding on it, and certainly J.J. Williams has played his part. Now, as the second half gets started, Rhode Island are going from left to right at the start of the second half. Rhode Island did make a substitution that we're going to get to in a second. Albert Dikwa has come in, and J.J. Williams has made way at the half. It's the first change that Rhode Island has made tonight. Just been told that the Rowdies have made a change as well. Luis Alvarez has made way, and the veteran Lawrence Wyke will take his place. That leaves the Rowdies with 3 changes left as Jeremy Shear, our referee, spots an infraction there, and it's a Tampa Bay free kick.
Well, if you're Tampa Bay, you absolutely have to start playing a bit more situational, and these games are always tough because Tampa Bay definitely has an identity to what they want to do on the attacking side of the ball, but oftentimes in these types of matches, the situation doesn't necessarily call for what your identity is, and so you're going to have to see Tampa Bay open up a little bit more, be a bit quicker on the ball, because they just gave it away far too carelessly oftentimes in that first 45 minutes.
Dikwa is brought down and wins a Rhode Island free kick.
And then on the flip side, if you're Rhode Island FC, you absolutely don't want to take your foot off the gas. Now, there's a risk reward to this, right? You don't want to open yourself up to give Tampa Bay an in back into this match, but you have the makings of a complete 90-minute performance. We talked about the last time these two teams met. Maybe that was Rhode Island's best performance of the season. Well, this is shaping up to have a stance on that performance, and you don't want to lose the clean sheet here in the second half.
Bacharach out to the far side, Sanchez. Bacharach for Holstead. Nodarse. Back for Holstead. Darce is stood up on this near side, doesn't give up on the play, however. Battle continues on the byline. Nodarse again for Holstead. Feeding it through for Dikwa, who just fizzed it wide.
Well, I really like the substitution from Cano Smith to bring in Albert Dikwa because he hasn't really gotten going the way that he did in the 2024 season. And if Rhode Island FC is going to make a big-time playoff push and keep winning in the playoffs, Albert Dikwa is going to have to be a huge part of that. And so they want to find a way to get him some confidence. That substitution, giving him the entirety of the second half, that may be key to get him going.
Mendez plays it square for Wyke. Lovely ball in by Azakar. Nobody in a white shirt could get a touch onto it, but that's more of what Dom Casciano's going to want to see as the second half develops. Well, High Noon's quality is second to none, formulated with real spirits, juice, and iced tea, no added sugar and natural flavors. High Noon is the perfect drink for any occasion. Well, that is a missed kick. It allows Arteaga to cross that into the middle. Rifa Yao makes up for it. Ends up deflecting off of Arteaga and out for a Rhode Island goal kick. Well, Maven's Deli with their corned beef on rye, their Kugels. They play to win with the flavors that score, kind of like J.J. Williams does every time. J.J. Williams with a first-half brace, got the assist on the all-important second goal, which was scored by Noah Fuson. And in the midst of the really impressive Rhode Island play, Tampa Bay had a couple of chances, particularly from Paul Marie in that first half. They obviously did not capitalize, and Rhode Island certainly did. They were ruthless in the first half. Here comes Tampa Bay up the other end. It's a loose touch on the edge of the arc, and Darcy and company move it away, but Bacharach could not continue the forward movement.
Right now, everything feels forced centrally for Tampa Bay. This Rhode Island side, they'll actually concede some dangerous spaces in the wider parts of the field. You'll find yourself in isolation a little bit more. If Tampa Bay wants to have a bit more success, I think they're going to have to figure out a way to go around and not necessarily through, because it's been staunch in the central area for Rhode Island.
Some time and space there for Crisostomo. Hasn't had much of a kick in this game so far for the Rowdies. They'll want to change that, amongst many other things, in the second half. Guillen for Forrest Lasso. Again, we should reiterate that because Detroit lost earlier tonight, Tampa Bay is not eliminated yet with a defeat in Rhode Island. It would put them in very, very rough shape. Make no mistake about that. But the Loudoun win does keep Tampa Bay mathematically alive, because they can still catch Detroit, potentially, with 2 games left in the season. If this result holds, of course, the Rowdies cannot catch Rhode Island, who would be 7 points clear of them with 2 to play. And then, of course, the other team to keep an eye on in there is Indy. If the results hold, Indy would be 3 points back of Detroit with 2 to play, and they'd be 5 points back of Rhode Island, who with another win against Carolina next week, if this result holds, would clinch a playoff berth. So that is where we stand at the moment. And there is the updated scores around the grounds. Pittsburgh is still ahead. El Paso leading Lexington. That would put Lexington in a tough spot in the Western Conference. Sacramento's come back to tie it against Hartford. Hartford essentially just need a positive result tonight, and they will clinch as well. Good header away there by Yao, and Sanchez clears it over the halfway line.
It's hard to deny just the general importance.
Fuson for Sanchez. Couldn't quite get the touch right. Bacharach picks up the pieces. Sanchez, Fuson for Bacharach. Holstead is available to help. Bacharach forced back to the halfway line. This is Grant Stoneman. Dequa had the right idea on the turn, couldn't take the ball with him. And then a foul alleviates the pressure and gives the Rowdies a free kick.
This is really the weekend. It feels like you're going to have a very clear picture at what your future holds and exactly what you need to do. I feel like this is kind of the last big question mark in terms of some variables, and then after this weekend, truly, you're going to have your clear 2 to 3 match plan of exactly what you need to do.
Big chance for Tampa Bay. Oh, and it's been spurned. Some of the best build-up we've seen from the Rowdies tonight, and Juan Azucar could not make Koke Vegas work.
And they do a really nice job at starting this from the width of the field and then moving it quickly through the central area over to the far side. So that lovely switch of point from the left to right, touching 3 or 4 different players, that's going to be the key. You are rarely going to break this Rhode Island team down from a central perspective. It's got to go quickly through the middle, out the other way. That's really good stuff from Tampa Bay. I kind of feel like the East and West right now are in 2 totally different worlds. I feel like the East is just duking it out. You got knockout punches being thrown left and right, and then Feels like a bit of a pillow fight down there at the end of the Western Conference standings.
Where have I heard that phrase before?
I loved it. Their explanation of that, of course, we always give a shout out to the great Mike Watts and Devin Kerr, the USL All Access. If you don't watch that, definitely tune in. The explanation of the term pillow fight in that conversation actually is what really sent me. And if you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you go watch it.
There you go, Sirius XM FC 157, Tuesday nights is the place to go. Unless, of course, you're walking the cat, then take care of that first.
You take care of that cat.
Listen
that
in.
cat goes on a lot of walks, man.
Must be he or she must be in very good shape. Let's be honest.
You know, one day when those two surpass, obviously they've been doing this a long time, for this league a long time, whenever they surpass however many games called in USL Championship, my vote is to actually get them a USL branded cat leash, maybe a cat harness, and I feel like that should be their present. Congratulations on your 200 games called. Here's your present.
Or just a nice photo of them both walking the cat. I mean, that would also be kind of nice. Put it above the den.
I would like to see if this cat actually exists. Big hard no is what I'm going to go
Conspiracy theories. We'll get back to that later. Here's Lawrence Wyke for the Rowdies. Leaves it off for Van Kazeel. I mentioned this in the first half. 2 home games to finish the regular season for Tampa Bay. They play Hartford next week, and then after that, they finish the regular season with what could be a pretty important game, depending on how things shake out. They'll host Detroit City. Of course, have to get back on track next week after losing at the death today to Loudoun, who clinched a playoff berth. Lovely turn there from Karifa Yao.
It's been good tonight.
It's fed out beautifully to the far side. Aldair Sanchez. And Sanchez won too many dribbles, loses out. Chance for the Rowdies to counterattack here. It's up ahead, but out of the reach of Manuel Arteaga. Skinner to the byline. His cross is blocked, and it's a Tampa Bay throw. Do you have a game plan to pay for college? If not, check in with RISLA, a local expert on preparing, planning, and paying for college. Go to risla.com to learn more. Arteaga has been summoned to take the long throw and wants as much real estate as he can get, nudging some of the advertising boards back a bit. Of course, was a key cog of that 2023 Phoenix Rising championship team. His cross here is headed away by Nodarse, putting his body on the line. Then another shot blocked away by Karifa Yao on the edge of the penalty area. Now Guillen clipping it in, and Vegas certainly had to keep his eye on it as it lands on the roof of the net.
He nearly caught himself in a pretty tough position, didn't he? Found himself way too high off of his line. And I love that idea from Tampa Bay Rowdies. See that he is out past the 6. Why not just try and chip it over him?
Van Kazeel cuts out the Dequa header. Rhode Island have just been swarming in these kinds of moments. They win the ball back again. Bacharach. And then in the end, the referee stops it anyway for a Rhode Island free kick.
I love that point from you because, look, the execution, no doubt, from the strikers, the wingers, has been excellent for Rhode Island, but this game for me so far has been won because of Rhode Island's midfield.
It's played all the way back to Bill Hamid. another big midseason acquisition for the Rowdies from, well, their in-state rivals, of course, Miami. Bill Hamid actually had a really strong start to the season, and that has continued. Talked about some of the defensive issues that the Rowdies have had. Their 4-0 win over Monterey Bay was actually just their second clean sheet of the season. And of course, Bill Hamid's first as a Tampa Bay player. A lovely give and go, allowing the Rowdies to move this forward. Paul Marie down the far side. He's able to lay it off into a pocket of space from Mendez. And then it's clipped into the penalty area here for Arteaga. And Arteaga could not do much with it in the end.
Not a bad look here from Tampa Bay Rowdies, but they've been met with really nice defensive efforts from Rhode Island FC. The rotation behind the ball was absolutely spot on between Stoneman and Diop. They both had that one covered, made the play predictable, and end up earning a goal kick. Well done.
Whether you're headed to work, school, or game day, RIPTA gets you there. With statewide service and easy trip planning, transit's never been simpler. Plan your ride at RIPTA.com today. A foul and a free kick for the Rowdies, who try to work quickly here, but Rhode Island was ready for it. Tampa Bay looked to pick up the pieces here. It's pushed forward for Arteaga. Azakar lays it off for Van Kazeel. This is Mendez. Great ball over the top here in behind. Vegas committed, but the potential cross goes out of play for a goal kick.
These are the moments we keep talking about. Move it quickly through the central space. Get it out the other way. That's a lovely switch of the point. Wonderful delivery. And a good run, an idea. Koke Vegas does well when he comes off his line. He actually closes down the available angle to cut back centrally, forces that ball out.
And we're keeping an eye on the goals going on around the grounds. Looks like Lexington did get a goal back against El Paso. Now it's 2-1. Lexington's had a couple of late comebacks against Western Conference opponents this season, particularly at home. So El Paso are not out of the woods yet in Kentucky tonight. Lou City, of course, are playing this evening against Miami. Speaking of Kentucky, trying to close in on another Players' Shield claiming. But it's 0-0 at the moment. Miami are already eliminated from playoff contention. They are at the half at Lynn Family Stadium. Here is Marie for the Rowdies. Now Mendez tries his luck, blocked away on the edge of the 18-yard box. Then Dikwa wins the header. Shapiro Thompson linking up with Holstead. And that's last off of Holstead. It's a Tampa Bay throw, taken quickly by Guillen. For Skinner. Skinner is double parked, but gets past not one, not two, nearly three challenges, but then runs out of real estate on the byline, and it's a goal kick. There is your full brief update there on the scores going on elsewhere. By the way, Charleston leading 1-0 against the champion Switchbacks. That would be a pretty big blow for James Chambers' side if they cannot come back in the second half. Still 2-2 between Hartford and Sacramento. And of course, most importantly for our game, Pittsburgh still leading by a Danny Griffin goal to nil over Indy. All those games are also, like ours is, on ESPN+. Shapiro Thompson wins it back for Rhode Island. Sanchez played it on the far side. 25 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Rowdies win it back. Van Kazeel from Wyke.
We keep talking about playoff berths, but I think there's a kind of a game within the game, especially on the Eastern Conference side of the table. It's not only about getting into the playoffs, but it's a bit of a fight to not be 8th.
Fuson up ahead for Dikwa. Popped up in the head, in the air, I should say, by Lasso, caught above the head by Bill Hamid after an awkward moment.
The reason that you want to not be 8th is because I don't think anybody wants to go try and play Lou City at Lynn Family Stadium with the way that they have looked this season. Now, granted, if there's probably any team where you say, all right, you have a chance, just given the history of these two sides, it is Rhode Island. But still, I think you want to avoid that at all costs. And so this is such an important matchup, not only in terms of securing an actual position in the playoff table, but to not be 8th is really a goal within itself.
Conno Smith's going to make a change here for Rhode Island. Amos Shapiro Thompson will exit the game, and he'll be replaced by Mark Ibarra, who's had a very good season here in Rhode Island.
Great shift put in by Amos Shapiro Thompson. I thought he did a lot of the unseen work, and really we talked about in the lineup card him being able to kind of float in and out of certain areas on the right-hand side of the pitch. He did that very well and opened up some key moments for Frank Nadarce in the first half.
Good build-up here from the Rowdies. Van Kazeel's cross is headed just about out of the area. Another chance here for Noah Fuson, who's been excellent tonight to move this ahead. Threads the needle for Ibarra on the near side. Fuson switches the play brilliantly. Off to the far side for Sanchez. Bacharach. Not sure Rhode Island has had a poor switch of play tonight. Holstead and Fuson in particular have been pinpoint with those diagonal balls over the top. Stoneman's turn to go over the top. Cannot find Ibarra. Darce puts some pressure on Guillen with a bit of an awkward ball to the edge of the area, but Van Kazeel initially dealt with it all right, but Holstead wins it back. Fuson clips it across. It's played into the middle, and the header is in. (4-0) Rhode Island as Albert Dikwa gets his name on the score sheet. He has trouble taking his shirt off. I don't think many will care about that except maybe the Rowdies players, who are a bit perplexed by that. But Rhode Island are over the hills and far, far away from Tampa Bay now. 4-0 up, and Dikwa gets a goal that he's been desperately looking for.
Well, these are the moments that we asked for Tampa Bay to look at managing. This was shaping up to be poor from them from the start. They invite all kinds of pressure. They don't handle the ball cleanly enough. And then Noah Fuson finds a way to get himself faced up, and it's just lax. Look, at the end of the day, well done on Rhode Island for taking advantage of the opportunity, but that is far too easy in the box from Tampa Bay Rowdies. The lack of marking, the lack of awareness on the back post. Not good enough for a team that, yes, it's not necessarily do or die, but they are desperate for points. And this match really hasn't felt that way for Tampa Bay Rowdies. The hunger that I expected to see just hasn't been there.
Third goal of the season for Albert Dikwa. It's brought to you by Capelli Sport. Cano Smith looks pretty good. Takes J.J. Williams out. Tries to get Albert Dequa some confidence and some goals. Albert Dequa delivers. And Rhode Island are running away with it here.
And in a game like this, we talked about when Albert Dequa came onto the pitch, it was really key for him to get quality minutes, because in order to go deep into the playoffs, they are going to need all of the attacking weapons at their disposal. It's been a little bit lax for Albert Dequa just in terms of his ability to produce goals this year. And with that as a striker comes a bit of a dip in confidence. And so getting him quality minutes, him earning himself a spot on the score sheet tonight, that's a quality component. You wonder if Maxi Rodriguez is not going to be kind of in that same fell swoop of needing confidence, needing to get quality reps onto the pitch. And in a game where every Rhode Island player has seemingly clicked, this would be a good one for Maxi Rodriguez as well.
It's the first time this season that Rhode Island have scored 4 goals in a USL Championship game. The other 2 times they did it were both in the Jägermeister Cup. They won 4-1 at Westchester back on April 27th. And of course, the more recent one, June 27th, they won here at Centerville Bank Stadium 4-1 over Portland Hearts of Pine. Both of those teams are in USL League One.
Look, you can't get around it. And I think it's a little silly not to talk about it. Every team is going to have an area that they need to work on. And for Rhode Island, a lot of the reason that people were questioning if they were going to be a playoff team was their inability to score. And not just their inability to score, their inability to create dangerous chances. And we talked about a little bit the change from the 2024 season to the 2025 season. 2024, they were a bit more direct in nature. They wanted to impose a lot of physicality, still the same stout defensive principles, but this year on the attacking side of the ball in particular, they had a bit more of a focus on keeping possession, longer spells of possession, building through the thirds a little bit more. And I think that working into those different principles is what you saw in the first half of the season. But over the past couple of weeks now, it hasn't been 4-0 games, but there has been a consistent progression in the opportunities that they've been creating. Now what we're seeing is the execution of those opportunities as well.
Darcy's pressure defensively there. Another Rowdies player goes down away from the play. Looks like that's Paul Marie. Looped into the 18-yard box where, again, Karifa Yao has just been vacuuming up these balls over the top all night for Rhode Island defensively. Marie is still hobbled. Bottom left briefly of your screen there. Here comes Rhode Island again. They haven't scored 5 in any game this season. Here's Ibarra. And a bit of a casual run there from Nodarce, I think because there was a player down behind him. And then Nodarce ends up getting dispossessed by Guillen, who then gives it away to Ibarra rather cheaply. Fuson couldn't get on the end of that. Dequa putting pressure on Lasso, who clears the ball away. Here's Stoneman. Stoneman was muscled off of it. Nodarce is upended, and that's a Rhode Island free kick. And you're starting to wonder if that 4th goal maybe took all the life that is left, at least tonight, out of the Rowdies defensively. Oh, and Nodarce may have actually fallen awkwardly here. This is a possible head injury, I think, and Jeremy Shear rightly has waved on some medical staff to have a look at Nodarce.
Reminder as well with Frank Nodarce earlier in this season, he did actually have to wear a bandage around his head for a couple of games.
Paul Marie goes down again as we look at the replay.
Oh yeah, definitely. As he was falling down, this angle will show it to you. He just gets nicked in the head from that challenge. No insightful play there whatsoever, but goodness, for a player that has definitely dealt with some head injuries this season. No doubt that you'd rather be safe than sorry here.
One of the storylines around Rhode Island this season has been that some defenders have been in and out of the lineup throughout the season. Nodarse and Stoneman among them. You've had the likes of Yao and Mabika throughout the season, along with others, able to plug those gaps. Harivo's played defensively at times at center back.
It was now time for a Providence College Schoolman substitution for Rhode Island FC. Leaving the benches, number 4, Hugh Baccarat, number 5, Grant Stoneman.
Well, in one foul swoop here, Cano Smith's going to use all 3 of his remaining substitutions. The players coming in are the aforementioned Ame Mabika, Dwayne Atkinson, and Maxi Rodriguez. Grant Stoneman, Frank Nodarse, and Hugo Baccarat are all going to make way. And that is it. Rhode Island are out of substitutions tonight. Must be nice having to decide between Fuson and Holstead as far as who's going to take a set piece. Jope is interested as well. Looks like it will be Noah Fuson to take. Instead, it's Jope who plays in a wonderful ball that goes all the way in, but the flag is up. Flag is up. Ibarra was the one that put Bill Hamid off. And for a second time tonight, the music is a bit premature here. That goal is not going to count. I must say, another moment that Dom Casciano will not like to look back on film-wise, as the Rowdies kind of fell asleep. And they nearly gave it away again, high up the field.
This is going to be a pretty tough film session regardless, and really, you know, we can get into a lot of the tactical nuances of it as we take a look back at this offside call. Absolutely from Mark Ibarra, and definitely affects Bill Hamid's positioning in that moment. Offside, completely the right call. But I think really what it boils down to is something quite simple. They did not take care of the ball well enough. They gave Rhode Island far too many opportunities to jump entry passes, win balls in dangerous areas of the field, and this is a Rhode Island team that is quick going forward. You do not want to give them any ability to transition more than they already have.
Well, a clear hold up there. And Aaron Guillen, he is going to see a yellow card for Tampa Bay.
Really important not to let frustration boil over.
Well, there is a big goal to tell you about from one of the other games. It's the game we've been keeping an eye on. Pittsburgh have scored again. Sean Suber has made it 2-0 to Pittsburgh. And if that result holds, Pittsburgh will clinch a playoff berth. It also would put Rhode Island in a position, as the flag goes up here for offside, where if they win their next game against North Carolina, they will clinch a playoff berth.
Say it with me, everybody. Go Riverhounds. Everyone watching this game, I know that no one actually likes to cheer for Pittsburgh. I'm not actually trying to make you a fan of theirs for the remainder of the season, but both teams in this match absolutely want a positive result for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
A tug and a yellow card swiftly given to Manuel Arteaga.
Frustration boiling too. If you're a player on this side, you cannot let frustration boil to a point where you even give the referee a sniff at sending you off. Because as you so nicely reminded us, Sean, this is not necessarily do or die. We thought coming into this match for Tampa Bay Rowdies it was going to be a do or die scenario, but because of the Loudon result, they still have a chance, and you need all available players.
Well, Miller Lite is a proud sponsor of RIFC. When it's game time, it's Miller time. Oh, and that was nearly a wonderful ball. Threaded through for the Jamaican, Dwayne Atkinson. Bill Hamid corrals it with 10 minutes of normal time left. To your point, and now with this result nearly there for Rhode Island, Tampa Bay can no longer catch Rhode Island if this result holds up. They'd be 7 points adrift with 2 games to play. They can still catch Indy, of course. More importantly, they can still catch Detroit. They'd be 5 points back with 2 games to play. That'd be quite the turnaround if the Rowdies could get that done. They need a lot of help with Detroit losing some games, of course, these last 2. But it's still possible, and that's what we were just referring to there with Loudon doing them a favor earlier this afternoon. Fuson trying to find Maxi Rodriguez.
Fuson's drifted out to the width with some of the substitutions, a little bit of a change in shape, change in personnel. You see Fuson on your right-hand side playing a bit more as a natural winger for Dwayne Atkinson to fill kind of that 2-front space up top with Albert Dikwa.
It does look like the Rowdies are getting at least a couple of changes ready as well. We'll get to that in a moment. Yao helps out Vegas, but then it's given away. White tries to lay it off, and then Fuson forces it back. This is Joey Skinner back towards the halfway line. Look at the stats there, a ton of shots, but for the Rowdies, no shots on target out of double-digit shots total. And Rhode Island, talk about being ruthless, 4 goals out of 5 shots on target tonight.
Well, those 10 shots, really the only one that felt somewhat threatening was that Paul Marie chance earlier in the first half. Everything else has just been a bit soft on the attacking side of the ball.
Long distance shot there, and Vegas parries it off the bar. On the follow-up, side netting from Arteaga. Well, Marion, you pointed out earlier that Vegas has been drifting off that 6-yard line a couple of times. He nearly got caught out there. And now here comes the Tampa Bay adjustments here. Marie is going to make way. Charlie Sharp will replace him, and then Manuel Arteaga, that's his last moment of the night. He will exit as well and will be replaced by Nick Moon.
You can definitely tell there is an awareness for this Tampa Bay Rowdy side to look up and find Koke Vegas's positioning. He's far too off his line there, nearly at the top of the 6-yard box, almost gets caught. Arteaga does well to try and fight for the second phase, the rebounding effort. This is also the beauty of having Amity Diop on your lineup. He started out as a fullback in this system, but naturally a left-footed center back. You can slot him all kinds of different ways as you try to seal off a game.
That ball is looped over the top, looking for Sharp. Holds up the play, gets it back towards the center circle. Reshuffle for Van Kazeel. Now Wyke does well, gets past a couple of challenges. It was the first shot on target officially that Vegas parried onto the crossbar for the Rowdies, but nothing there on the follow-up. It goes out of play on this near side. As we tell you that you want to know the secret to businesses that last, it's your people. Tap into your people power with Insperity, the trailblazers in human resources, because how you HR matters. That's going to be a foul and a free kick. Dwayne Atkinson holding the back of his head. Allows Rhode Island to alleviate the pressure. As we tell you that 2026 season tickets are on sale now. Go to RhodeIslandFC.com and get your seat secured today. and it's sharp. 5 minutes plus stoppage time left. Again, just to reiterate the scenarios overall, it's a lot to digest. With this win, Rhode Island would be within 2 points of clinching a playoff berth. If Pittsburgh beats Indy, they're leading 2-0 right now. The Rowdies would not be out yet mathematically because Loudoun beat Detroit earlier today. However, they'd still be 5 points back of Detroit for the final playoff spot in the East. They'd have to win out. Detroit, essentially, would have to lose out to give the Rowdies the best possible chance to get to the playoffs. And remember this as well, if Tampa Bay does not make the playoffs this year, it'd be the first time since 2018 that we would have a USL Championship playoffs that did not include Tampa Bay.
Well, look, no doubt about it, especially as we look to next week. Tampa Bay is going to have to play a red-hot Hartford Athletic side. On the flip side of that, Detroit is going to have to play the Charleston Battery. That's not very fared, or it's not very favorable to them. And so it brings up what you alluded to in the first half, that game, Tampa Bay Rowdies versus Detroit City on October 25th, could end up being one for all of the playoff marbles. In fact, it's shaping up to look that way.
One of many to potentially circle on the calendar for the last 2 weeks of the regular season. Joe into space here for Rhode Island. Sanchez is available out wide. Maxi Rodriguez. Now Atkinson. It's looped over the top here. Could be a chance for Sanchez. Nowhere near the target, but Fuson keeps the ball in play. His cross back into the middle is headed out of the 18-yard box. Yao helps to recycle it. Ibarra lays it off. Rodriguez. Atkinson could not find Dikwa, poked upfield. Recovered for Ibarra. Awkward here. Dikwa lays it off, and it's looped over the top and in from Maxi Rodriguez. Maxi Rodriguez gets on the score sheet. Rhode Island have scored the most goals they've scored in a game this season. 5 stars across the board. And they're 5-0 up with 2 minutes to play. You can say it now, it's Rhode Island's best performance of the season.
Absolute scenes right now at Centerville Bank Stadium. And we said in the second half, after the substitution of Albert Dikwa, you wanted that for him because you wanted him to get some confidence in front of goal. The next player on that list, we said, is Maxi Rodriguez. Can they find him quality minutes? Can he find some consistency to get in the back of the net? And let me tell you what, the big 3 that we highlighted for Rhode Island FC, that's the big 3 that you need executing at their finest as we get closer to the playoffs.
All 3 of them, Rodriguez, Fuson, and Williams, all on the score sheet. And Rhode Island have rolled the Rowdies over tonight.
I think as this game winds down, it's important to give credit to the coaching staff of Rhode Island. The game plan coming into this one, they didn't necessarily make adjustments for Tampa Bay. It was really more about finding a different attacking shape so that they could create some more opportunities early on. Absolute check, done. And then the substitution patterns for Cano Smith tonight have been absolutely excellent, getting players quality minutes, getting them confidence down the stretch. I've been so impressed not only with the coaching staff and what their game plan has been, but with the execution of the players. Because you and I candidly talked to Cano, and we said, look, at the end of the day, players know what needs to be done, and you can have all the X's and O's drawn out, but if they don't execute, none of it matters. And tonight, my goodness, the execution has been superb.
Into 2 added minutes at the end of the 90s. Sanchez for Dwayne Atkinson. Cannot get the shot away past Lasso, who blocks it. One quick note that I want to mention. This is the last home game of the season for Rhode Island, as Noah Fuson picks up a yellow card there for a poor challenge. Rhode Island's last home game last season, which was the final night of the regular season, they beat Miami 8-1. And that felt like a big jumping off point then for a potential playoff surge. They went on that road playoff triumvirate, beating Indy, Louisville, and Charleston. Who knows, is all I'm trying to say.
Hey, I am always about drawing speculation and drawing patterns where, and you know what, you and I actually tried to do that, and how it relates to this game. You and I actually, when they had that.
Well, Tampa Bay looked for a consolation, and it just simply isn't their night. The header is wide.
When they had that performance on the road against the Tampa Bay Rowdies, you and I had been calling a lot of games for this Rhode Island FC side, and we were a little distraught, a little confused about their inability to figure it out on the attacking side of the ball. They went to Tampa Bay. They had an incredible 3-goal performance, and not only did they score 3 goals, but they created many more dangerous opportunities. And you and I kind of felt like, all right, this is about the point in the 2024 season where they started to string together some really positive performances, some positive results. That part never really quite took, and it took Rhode Island FC a little bit later this season. But make no mistake about it, the mentality that got the 2024 side to the USL Championship final, that mentality has been on full display over the past couple of weeks. And now we're just starting to see confidence meet that mentality. And my goodness, the fans have been treated to such an incredible performance.
When they needed it most, Rhode Island play their best game of the season. They beat Tampa Bay by a resounding 5-0, and they take a giant step towards returning to the USL Championship playoffs. The Rowdies are dealt a huge blow to their potential playoff hopes, as they have to win out and get some help if they are to get back to the playoffs for what would be, if they make it, a 7th consecutive year. But for Rhode Island, it all went right, and for a vast majority of the night, it all went wrong for the Rowdies.
No doubt about it. The Tampa Bay Rowdies have some things to figure out with this performance, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. They've got to find a way to get some hunger in them and realize that now you are in a do-or-die situation. But Rhode Island, I was so impressed not only with their ability to score goals early, but in the second half to not risk the clean sheet. They get another one here this evening.
And similar to how Rhode Island kept a clean sheet tonight, Scandinavian Building Services keeps RIFC's home Centerville Bank Stadium clean. It's Koke Vegas's 30th regular season clean sheet of his incredible career. 5-0 is the final score. Rhode Island rip up the Rowdies and get within 2 points of clinching a playoff berth. Tampa Bay's playoff hopes are on life support after falling in Pawtucket tonight. We'll wrap it up next.
Progress means earning more on every dollar you save. It means more growth and less guesswork. It means watching your money work as hard as you do. Progress means turning savings into momentum. With competitive rates from Centerville Bank, your money grows while you keep going, because you deserve returns that match your ambition as you move forward with purpose. Centerville Bank. Progress on purpose.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder back here with you. The official physical therapy partner of RIFC brings you the full-time score here. Visit highbarhealth.com today to begin your journey to feeling better, moving freely, and living fully. 5-0 is the final score. Rhode Island take care of Tampa Bay tonight, and they're within 2 points of clinching a playoff berth. Full-time highlights, we dive right in. Lots to get to. It begins in the 8th minute with a wonderful finish from J.J. Williams.
Yeah, great combination play up the central channel, and then J.J. Williams has just enough room to get faced up. Bends that one around into the side netting. Well done to send Rhode Island FC up 1-0. And I want you to keep your eye on the player that fed him the ball, Noah Fuson. That relationship was on full display here in this match. 28th minute. This is arguably the best goal of the 5. J.J. Williams does well to check down underneath, shows us a little bit of footy skills, and finds the verticality that Noah Fuson can provide. Season alive.
That essentially put the game to bed. A little bit of an awkward shirt pull off there from Dequay. He won't care too much about that. 4-0 at that point, and then we have the save of the game brought to you by Centerville Bank. Vegas maybe a little bit out of position, but he makes up for it.
Koke wasn't asked to do a whole lot in this match, but there were a couple instances where he was caught a little bit in no man's land. He ends up making up for it with his reaction time, his athletic ability, and Rhode Island is able to keep the clean sheet.
The cherry on top, a goal from Maxi Rodriguez, who really could use it.
He could. You know what? We highlighted a couple of key players in the attack for Rhode Island. It was J.J. Williams. It was Noah Fuson. It's Maxi Rodriguez. And I would even argue Albert Dequa. All of the big contributors to the attack for Rhode Island get on the score sheet tonight. And that's exactly what you want to see if you're Cano Smith.
Massive result. No other way around it for Rhode Island. They are now 2 points away from clinching a return to the playoffs. The other big game that just went full time, Pittsburgh beats Indy by 2-1. That is pivotal as well, puts Indy in a tough spot. Detroit are now just 3 points clear of that final playoff spot. Rhode Island are essentially there, not quite though, 2 points left to earn. Pittsburgh clinches a playoff spot by beating Indy. Tampa Bay need a lot of help if they are to return to the playoffs. This really kind of was a do-or-die game for both teams. Which direction would they be trending in down the stretch of this USL Championship season? Rhode Island answers the bell with their best performance of the season, and the Rowdies are going to be near the exit door for these final 2 weeks of the regular season. For Marion Crowder and our entire crew, Sean St. Jacques saying so long from Pawtucket. Rhode Island wins it by 5-0.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.